Despite people saying that these are the worst selection of starters we've ever gotten, they actually make a whole lot of sense. Let's break it down. So, a lot of people are upset about the starter choices, and while we got a lot of things to talk about today with Pokemon Legends ZA and all this other news, the biggest thing that people are talking about right now is these starter choices, which I don't understand, because these are three Pokemon that, well, no one's ragging on Totodile, right? Which is respect to my boy Totodile. But people are ragging on Chikorita and Tepig. I mean, alright, I get it. There's two Johto starters. I know why that is. Basically, this game is not going to have any Pokemon post Gen 6. So I think that's why we didn't get a Rowlet or a Litten as one of the starters, because I think Pokemon X and Y had a big Pokédex, right? Which already has a lot of Pokemon that need love, right? And we already know what the Gen 6 Pokédex is, and this doesn't appear to be far in the past or far in the future. We don't exactly know the timeline of this game, but it clearly is not that futuristic. This looks like maybe a few years after the events of X and Y, meaning that there probably isn't a lot of Pokemon post Gen 6 that have magically migrated to the Kalos region. Maybe there'll be a few, but I think the main thing they want to focus on is Pokemon Gen 6 and before, which is why I think that these starters were chosen, because that would limit the pool to Gen 2 and Gen 5. Gen 4, even though, those starters didn't really get any love yet, I think it's coming. I think we just got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then Pokemon Legends Arceus, where even though those Pokemon didn't get new forms, they were still pretty much big parts of those games. And so now, with Gen 4 starters kind of being out of the way, Gen 3 starters, all have Megas. Gen 1 starters all have Megas. And Typhlosion from Gen 2 just got a regional form. It means that they're going to have to choose from Unova and Johto. They can't choose Snivy because Chikorita's a Johto starter, right? And they need to give love to the Johto starters, right? Because those are, I'd say, probably the starters that have not gotten any love, because the last time we got any Johto love was Heart Gold Soul Silver, which was a long time ago, right? Which I also think this kills any idea of let's go Johto. Yeah, but anyway, and then so from there, if we're gonna have, we can only pick from Gen 5 and Gen 2 starters. Gen 2 starters are gonna get priority because we haven't seen them in a minute, right? And then from Gen 5, the only one that they could have left is Tepig. That's just simply it, right? And so if there was gonna be Pokemon from Gen 7, 8, and 9, they would have put maybe one of the Gen 7 starters as the starter for this game. So, could I be wrong? Absolutely. Oh, I'm thirsty. Make sure you drink your water today. Just let this serve as your reminder if you have not drinking water today. Let that serve as your reminder. But anyway, another thing that's why that's happening. Another thing that I don't understand is a lot of people have been saying, let's go Johto, and we need Johto love for a long time. But now that we've gotten, Typhlosion got its love, and now we're getting Chikorita and Totodile love, why is that a problem? Like, everybody wanted Johto love until now we don't want Johto love? I don't know. But also, another thing that people are saying is Chikorita and Tepig are garbage, which the Tepig slander is horrendous, right? First of all, Tepig, if you have not played through a Pokemon game with a Tepig, do it. Tepig has the biggest move set, the biggest move pool of any starter Pokemon. For one, if you didn't know, Tepig and Emboar are the only, specifically Emboar, is the only starter Pokemon that can learn both a water and a grass type move. It gets access to Scald, water type move, and grass, it gets Grass Knot and Solar Beam. There is no other starter other than like maybe using Weather Ball, but there's no other starter that can use both grass and water type moves purely without any other gimmicks, right? So, but not only that, Emboar's, like I said, Emboar move pool is big. You got Earthquake, Thunder Punch, Brick Break, a Sucker Punch, Stone Edge. This thing's move pool is insane, right? And a lot of people from Gen 5 like Serperior, which I don't understand, because Serperior's moveset is pretty garbage. Have you tried playing through with the Serperior? And so, well, that my Tepig defense out of the way, These Chikorita and Tepig are also two Pokemon that just need love. They are two Pokemon that have not gotten buffed. When Emboar came back in Scarlet and Violet, I was a little disappointed because we didn't get really as many buffs as I would have liked. I wanted Emboar to get Dragon Dance. Does that make sense? No, but I don't care. But no, Chikorita and Emboar and Meganium both needed love because they both have been Pokemon that have not been great for a long time. And while we have great Pokemon that are made even more broken by Mega Evolution, the whole thing about the starters, particularly in Legends ZA, not Legends ZA, Pokemon Legends Arceus, we took 3 starters that were garbage. Some people said fan favorite or whatever, but Samurott is garbage. Decidueye, garbage. Typhlosion, garbage. And are they still garbage? I don't know. There's an argument that could be made, but regardless, those are 3 Pokemon that needed love, right? And when we look at other choices, Serperior, even though in the game, in the main game, Serperior is pretty bad, but in competitive, Serperior is pretty good, right? What are the other choices? Incineroar is pretty freaking good. Popplio, Primarina is pretty good, right? And you could argue about the Gen 4 starters, but I really think, with Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl just coming out, that's why I don't think we got a Gen 4 starter. So looking at the candidates, which is what a lot of people thought was Gen 2, 5, and 7, because that's what we got in the first Legends game. Once you start looking and thinking about it, it kind of makes more sense, and plus it's like, if you don't like these Pokemon, who knows what they're gonna do? Who knows? Pokemon's not stupid. They would not choose something that they could not sell. And if honestly, these 3 guys in their base forms look cute, okay? If you don't think these guys look cute in their base forms, I don't know what to tell you, right? But also, there's a lot of potential here, right? A Mega Incineroar, what are you going to do with that? A Mega Serperior, what are you going to do with that? Right? Make it more broken? Make Incineroar more broken? All those Pokemon can already compete for themselves. These Pokemon, Feraligatr is pretty strong, but even then, I'd say Feraligatr needs a little bit of love. These Pokemon just, they need assistance, and they're going to be made better in these games. So, okay, that's, starters out of the way. Another complaint people have is, the game doesn't look as good. But I want you to look at the first Scarlet and Violet trailer and the first Legends Arceus trailer and tell me that this trailer does not look far better than both of those trailers. There was not really that much stutter in these games, and also people are like, I've seen people saying it looks like this. What did you expect? This is Pokemon. This is not Zelda. This is not GTA. This is not Cyberpunk. Expecting a gargantuan jump when it's not. The only time Pokemon does huge jumps is between generations. This is not a new generational game. This is still kind of like a spin-off, whatever. This is not a new generation. And also, you're still on the original Switch. Now, do I think the Switch 2 Pokemon game is going to blow my mind away? Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know what people expected this game to look like. If you don't like the way Pokemon games function, just don't play the game. I just think it's okay. You don't have to play every Pokemon game, right? But I think, the idea of Pokemon is never that the game is the most aesthetically appealing. A lot of the older games were aesthetically appealing, but a lot of the magic Pokemon games is you kind of fill in the magic yourself, right? Especially growing up, of course the games weren't one-on-one with the anime, but you're supposed to think maybe as you get an adult, people lose their imagination. But the idea was, my Pokemon is beating up another Pokemon like in the anime, right? You're supposed to kind of fill in the blanks with your imagination type, right? And I think that, that's one thing that I think people need to consider, that, Pokemon games have never been the most innovative when it comes to anything, right? Another thing, we still don't know a lot about how this game functions. And I think a lot of people are writing this game off without even knowing a lot about it. It sucks we don't know a lot about it because we waited a year. But everyone has been saying Pokemon needs to hold off on releasing a game because they keep rushing out games and they look bad. Now Pokemon is taking their time, and we get a trailer that looks better than any first trailer for any Pokemon game. No other Pokemon game's first trailer has looked this good. And Pokemon is taking their time, but now people are like, it's not enough. Like, this is still garbage. And it's like, what? I mean, granted, does it look like Cyberpunk Breath of the Wild? No. But I think of all trailers, of all first impressions, I want you to look at every single trailer and tell me how this does not look more polished than Scarlet and Violet, than Legends Arceus, than Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This is a step in the right direction. Is it all the way in the right direction? No, but it's a step. So, anyway. I'm excited. Like, honestly, these 3 starters have crazy potential when it comes to Mega Evolutions, right? When it comes to Incineroar, it's like, you really wanted to keep Intimidate, which limits it, right? If you get rid of Intimidate, then what is Incineroar going to do, right? And do I think other Pokemon could get love? Sure. I mean, now, there's a ever-growing list of Pokemon that can get love. Just because you didn't get your Pokemon that you wanted love right now doesn't mean it's not going to get love in the future. You know how long I've waited as a Tepig fan to get Tepig love? Shit. 20 years. Shit, it feels like 20 years. It's like, what, 2010? 15 years? I've waited for Tepig love? Y'all could wait a couple more years for other starters. I don't understand what people want. We need Greninja. And plus, we don't even know if there's a second set of starters. In the original Pokemon Legends, or in Legends ZA, I mean, in Pokemon X and Y, you got to choose the Kanto starters. Who knows? Maybe you get to choose the Kalos starters in this game. And they get Megas. I just think people need to stop writing off this game before we even see how it works. But anyway, this turned into a little bit of a rant. But we got a lot of content to talk about, right? And I know I'm taking a break from Pokemon content. That's just because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet got a little boring to me. And so we're going to be picking it up with the Pokemon content. I'm so glad there's actually something to look forward to. My boy Tepig is getting love, man. Y'all don't understand how happy that made me. Oh, wait. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation. I'll see y'all next video. Peace.